Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial. So today we're going to be taking a look at conflict and tension for the First World War, and we're going to be looking at question 1 on the AQA GCSE History Paper. This is worth 4 marks, so quite a short tutorial for you today based around this source. So this source is a source A. It will always be source A for question 1 in the exam paper. It's a French cartoon called The Victory Report. It was published in 1915, and there's a number of things we can see here. We can see Kaiser Wilhelm II here on the right hand side showing a report about the sinking of the Lusitania, which is obviously represented by this ship here, and the figure in the top left hand corner represents America. So this source is actually giving you quite a lot of information to work with. So the question is going to be very simple. The question is going to be, source A is critical of Germany during the First World War. How do you know? That's going to be the question. So let's go back and let's take a look at the mark scheme. So what do we need to do? Well, there's only 2 levels here. So it's very, very basic. There's a difference between simple and developed. So as we can see here from the mark scheme, a simple piece of analysis would be that the cartoon shows America is angry with Germany because it was published in France, so it's going to be biased. So it's not incorrect, but there's not really a great deal of substance to that. So that's not going to help you get out of level 1. If we want to get to level 2, we've got to do what it says here, as you can see from the example. So the cartoon suggests Germany's pleased that the ship has been sunk, innocent people are being killed, because although still neutral in the war, America protested strongly when the Lusitania was sunk. So there's a lot of contextual knowledge here which is not told by the source. For example, there's nothing in there about the neutrality of America in 1915. We should know from our subject knowledge how many people were killed, how many Americans were killed, and we should also know from our own subject knowledge that this was part of Germany's unrestricted submarine warfare. So as you can see from level 2, what we really need to be doing is what do we know from our subject knowledge to help add to this source. So in my opinion, there's a couple of things really that I think you need to look at when it comes to this source. So why would America be upset with Germany about the Lusitania? So here we've got America very angry, and obviously we've got the Lusitania here. So why would America be so upset about Germany about the Lusitania? What do we know from our contextual knowledge we can help answer this question? And again, I quite think it's important to notice that the Kaiser's got his back to the Lusitania, like he doesn't care. He's writing his report. He's almost got like a bit of a grin on his face here. He seems to be almost laughing. So there's some things in there which are quite easy to miss, but I think are going to be important to our final answer. So I've done an answer here, and I think I've tried to break it down by colour to kind of give you a clue as why I've done it this way. So first of all, use the sentence starters. Source A is critical of Germany for 2 reasons. That's really what this source is looking for. If we do 2 reasons, then we're going to get to the top of the band 2, and we're going to get those 4 marks. So my first point, firstly, the cartoon suggests Germany is pleased that the ship has been sunk. We can make reference to the fact that he appears to be smiling. And the source shows the Lusitania sinking as the German submarine sank the Lusitania in 1915. The source, called Victory Report, suggests Germany saw the sinking as a success. So it's good that they've sunk this American ship and that they've killed these innocent people. The Kaiser, representing Germany here, also is back to the ship, and America is suggesting that Germans are cowards for conducting war in this way, that sinking ships carrying passengers using submarine warfare is a cowardly way to do things. The second reason, obviously, which I've done a different colour, so the second point which I think we need to be made is that the source is critical of Germany because it shows an angry America. And we should know from our own subject knowledge that 128 Americans were killed when the Lusitania was sunk. In 1915, when the source was published, America was neutral but not part of the war. So the source is critical of Germany because they killed neutral, innocent people whose country in 1915 were neutral. So what we've got here is we've got 2 very distinct points. It's critical of Germany because it's suggesting that they're cowards, that they were laughing, that they thought that killing all these people was a good thing. And secondly, these people who were killed were innocent. We should know from our own contextual knowledge that America was neutral in 1915. So that killing these people, whilst they weren't part of the war, was a very, very cowardly and not very nice thing to be doing. So very critical of Germany in this respect. So when it comes to answering this question, there's not a lot to it. We've just got to get to the point, okay? So what I would do, if I'll give you any tips for question 1, is first of all, use the sentence start provided. Source A is critical of Germany for 2 reasons. Make sure we're doing 2 reasons. That's going to get us to the top of the band. Don't spend too much time, however, on this question. It's only 10% of the marks. It's only worth 4 marks out of 40. So let's just get it done and move on. And just bring some contextual knowledge to the plate. So everything that I've done here in italics is not mentioned in the source. Okay? So everything that we know here, the 128 Americans being killed, America being neutral in 1915, all these things are bringing subject knowledge which is not given from the source. It's going to help us get to the top of the band, which is where we want to be aiming. This really should be nailed on 4 marks. It's the easiest question on the paper, but it's also the shortest question on the paper. So don't spend too much time on it. Again, any more than 5 minutes is going to take away time which you're going to need for the questions later on. Check out my next video. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on a much more difficult question 2. I'll see you there.